Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Jemscast. Oh gosh, okay, restart. Well, not restart, sorry, just let me do it. Hey guys, what's up? Oh, this is so weird. How do I? Okay. Oh gosh. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Jemscast, podcast brought to you by Gems. I'm here today, joined with Daniel, as I always am and always will be, hopefully.
Hello.
And yeah, it's been a while. Before we get into the chit chat, before we get into the hanging out session. Daniel, why don't you hit us up with our sponsor?
I would be happy to. This week, our sponsor brought us a very special message. So, do you guys have a friend who is depressed, who has a miserable life? We all know someone who could use a bit more cheer in their life. Well, Gift of Fat Walrus is on your side. Gift of Fat Walrus has been supplying walruses for 40 years to the people of America. What better way to spread Christmas cheer to your friends than to gift one of them a fat walrus? Order one today at giftoffatwalrus.com.
Remember, that's giftoffatwalrus.com. Sorry, I couldn't actually help but laugh at that. Good.
That was the first time Josh had heard our sponsor.
That is the first time they reach out to Daniel generally, so I don't really get to say anymore. Daniel's kind of becoming a big deal on the podcast, and they know it too. So yeah, guys, it's been a while. It's been a long time. We've been busy. School's wrapping up, or at least the semester's wrapping up, and so yeah, final assignments and such. We're busy guys. So Daniel's very busy. He's quite he's what's the word? I had a good word for it. That didn't make it sound like I'm being mean. You assert yourself into positions of growth, really. So, and whereas I sit back and record Final Fantasy 15 Let's Plays.
Positions of, what were you saying? Sorry.
I finished my sentence. You're good.
Okay.
I was just saying you do stuff that is. I don't know. I was just saying. I was just trying to.
You have a YouTube channel,
right? I was just basically trying to say you have a life, and I don't. That's all I was really trying to say. Could be said.
I don't know if I'd agree completely with that statement.
Well, I would, but
It's a personal opinion then.
I suppose.
So, what have you been up to this week?
It sounds so hostile. Golly, it's because we're talking so plainly. We're just kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
Daniel.
so guys, full disclosure here. We just had like a big fight in the pre-production meeting.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And we're just not getting along well right now.
It's because Daniel's trying to be like super overbearing with the sort of just everything about. He's like trying to plan out stuff. I'm like, dude, the podcast is like water. You just gotta let it flow, and he just doesn't seem to get it. But whatever. So the funny bit is I say that because he was trying to plan stuff out, and so I'm assuming that's why he thought it was pretty funny. And it was a good thing, by the way. I was greatly appreciative. So, wow. So,
getting back into that gazelle voice, are we?
No, heavens no. We had a freak out because so Daniel, bless his heart, he listened to the podcast a minute ago. Not the whole thing, I'm assuming, but he listened to it in preparation for this podcast. He's like, so you want to know what happened last week? And I was like, actually, yes. I was about to listen to the whole dang story. And so he just saved my skin. So like for Daniel, pretty much. But well, yeah.
You just said Daniel listened to it. Which means
did I?
You were more busy than I was at that point.
Well,
is it not the truth?
Wait, did I tell you to listen to it?
No, but like you had more of a life at that point.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because I was listening to the podcast.
Right. Well, I was driving home, but I suppose it could be said at that point. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, I had a fright because I was listening back to the podcast only because I wanted to hear the gazelle voice because I hadn't heard it because I didn't actually edit that one. Like I didn't listen through it, so it was kind of I kind of had to rush it out. But it was good. But I hadn't heard the gazelle voice and I listened to it, and so I listened to the gazelle voice, and I was like, okay, sweet. And then I went back, and so I thought that I had put Daniel's mic like way too low, or sorry, not his mic. What am I talking about? His voice volume like way too low. comparatively to mine, because that was before I had this mic that I'm talking into now, and so I had to do that just to compensate. Or is that the right word? Basically, he just had better audio, and so I had to turn his way down, just so that his didn't sound overbearing compared to mine, so that they kind of sounded equal-ish. But now I don't have to worry about that because I actually have a mic. So thank goodness for that. And so that was the fright.
Yeah, you sound great.
Thanks, guys.
Right now.
Or thanks, Daniel. And guys, how do you think I sound? Do I sound kind of cool? And now you can hear stuff like this. Never mind, I'm not gonna do that. I was about to tap on the mic, but I was like, that's dumb. Yeah, I almost said the S word. Ooh. Which I'm an advocate for not saying stupid these days, which is a recent development. Kind of.
Should be known.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a recent development. I've always kind of felt that way, but then recently I was like, I'm gonna take a stand, and so I'm trying not to say it anymore because it just makes me sound, not very smart. So yeah.
So besides getting a new mic, what's been going on?
We had this whole pre-production meeting. I can't remember what we talked about. Hold on.
Well,
sorry, I think I have to turn something down on my mic.
What have we been up to this week?
Okay. Sorry. I had
You played Super Smash Bros.
My mic was doing something weird. Okay, we're good. So I played Super Smash Bros. At this party. And I hope this one guy isn't listening. But if he is, I gotta address it. Which, I mean, he doesn't even know I have a YouTube channel. But Felix, if you're listening, I know you once you got the Pro Controller, I know you did good. But anyways, I'll just put that. I was dominating when I had the controller I was used to. So basically, I went to this guy's house. He has a Wii U. And so we were playing Smash Bros. And he has a Pro Controller. And so he was using the gamepad, which is what I'm used to. And I can also play with the Pro Controller because it's pretty much the same thing. And so I was playing, and this guy beat me. He's like 20-something. He's like he used to play, or he's played a lot of it in his past or whatever. And so he's like, I beat you with the Wii remote. Now give me the Pro Controller. And I was like, all right, that's fair enough. He didn't say it like that. He was nice, and he's a nice guy. But so I gave him the Pro Controller, and then he started to win a lot more. But when I had the Pro Controller, I was absolutely unstoppable. Besides this one guy, because he was really good, and everyone was like, "Whoa, who's this?" This actually happened multiple times. So I was player 3, should be said, and everyone was like, "Well, like 4 or 5 times." People were like, "Whoa, who's player 3?" And so I became kind of famous, actually. So yeah, I was playing Super Smash Bros. I did really good. On the Wii U, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, I do best with Marth 1v1, but this might sound weird actually, because you would think Pikachu's more of a 1v1, but in crowds, I do really good with Pikachu. I don't know why, but Pikachu's just good crowd control for me. I think it's because if I'm talking GameCube controller, Wavebird could be said. The C stick to the side, that charged up is brutal, so I think that's what really knocks him off the edge, so that's why he's good crowd control. But anyways, I'll stop this monologue. And Daniel,
Well,
what?
I can actually probably count on one hand the amount of times I've played Super Smash Bros.
Right. And then I go to my Wii U alone. We're not even talking about Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We're talking about just the Wii U one, and it's like hundreds of games played, maybe thousands at this point. I don't even know. Well, no, hundreds. There's no way I've even played 1,000 games, but like hundreds and hundreds of games played. It's crazy. Over years.
What do you think you've learned
over a lot of years
from playing Smash Bros?
That
when you punch people, they fly up in the air and go,
Actually, if I've learned one thing, it's sort of self-control over... Now, this is going to sound dumb or just kind of weird, but it's sort of like self-control over anger, really. It's taught me anger management. Because, like, you can get really jacked up in that game. You know what I mean? Like, you can get seriously upset. Especially if you think you're gonna beat someone, if you know that they're like let's say I had you over to my house and we played and you were just beating me like nonstop, that would be
very
like
unlikely.
Right, that's the point. Like I would go into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna beat Daniel like a lot if I'm playing like the best I can or whatever. I'm gonna beat him a lot because he just hasn't played really much. But then if you were just beat me like time and time again, I would get like super annoyed, and that's the only times really when I have gotten annoyed in that game is when I play against someone who's like new to it and they just totally beat me up, and I'm like, what in the world? You know what I mean? Like I'm supposed to be good at this game, That's really the only times I get mad in video games, really. Unless I'm doing really bad, like on Halo 5 or something, that's when I get jacked up. Halo 5 is a funny game. I'm really, it's mostly actually when I don't do good with something I'm really good at. I think that's what the root of it is. Not even just if I assume someone's inferior to skill level. It's actually just if I know that I'm really good at a video game and then I'm like just doing terrible. That's when I get upset because I'm like, why am I not doing as good as I could? It's like when I play Halo 5 SWAT, after months of not playing, and I get demolished. Even if it's just like one game. If I got 35 kills and 5 deaths earlier, and then I go on the next round and I get demolished, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm supposed to be really good at this. Why am I not doing good? That's when actually I do get upset. But I never really get like really mad. And that's really. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'm talking way too much.
Okay. You sure?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, speaking of anger management, that's something you really have to have when playing Airsoft, for example, because you all have.
Oh, Airsoft, for example. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I just clipped the mic again. I'm trying really hard not to. Anyway, so go ahead.
Well, in this case, you have a gun that can actually hurt someone if you choose to.
Right.
You could get closer and really just come beat them up, kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah.
And that's something you definitely. Anger management is something you have to have. Like, you cannot get angry because
right.
if you do, bad things will happen.
You could actually hurt them. Right.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Instead of just it being a video game and you may break your controller, the guy's not in the room that you're angry at.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Right.
If you're at a party playing Super Smash Bros, maybe not, but.
Mm-hmm. I guess because.
Go ahead.
Well, no, sorry. Let's talk about Airsoft. I don't want to. I feel like all I've talked about is me this episode. So, with Airsoft, I haven't played a great deal, obviously. So why don't you tell us? Well, not obviously, but for those of you who don't know, I really haven't played much Airsoft in my life because from a very young age, I've been like. I don't want to sound like a wimp here, but let's face it. I've just been like super afraid of pain and stuff. And some people link it to, if you didn't know this, podcast exclusive. I'm not extremely, but I was 3 months premature, rough birth, and with a heart malfunction, pretty much. So I had to get that fixed up. So I was a rough kid. Well, a rough for the first year and a half or so. And so, what was I gonna say? Dang it, I totally lost track. What was I talking about? Pain, right. So some people say that might be a reason why I have this sort of, what's the word? It's just like a great deal of fear over pain, like especially needles and stuff. I'm like super terrified of that. Well, it's not like super terrified, but like I get really worked up over it. And so some people have said, oh, well, it's because, you had so much stuff to you done when you were a baby. So that's why you're kind of, that's what some people say.
And they obviously knew what they were talking about.
Right. It seemed like it. I mean, they have medical,
I thought you meant just random people walking
No,
up the street.
no, yeah. Well, one of them
punched you and they're like, did that hurt?
Right.
Do you like pain?
Well, then you must be 3 months premature. But they have their husband he was a medic in the army and then he's still a doctor. Or he's a PA. Is it a PA? Yeah. It's something's assistant. I think it's PA.
Physician's assistant.
Right, that one. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's what he is. He's either that or an actual doctor. I think he's probably an actual doctor.
So.
Anyways, so it was his wife who said that, and I feel like someone else has said that.
Preparation is worse than the actual.
Much worse.
Like the thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Beforehand.
Right. And so where was I going
with
with
wisdom
this?
teeth out?
I haven't. Have you?
I have.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
How was it? Well, terrible probably, but.
I had them knock me completely out. That's definitely the way to go.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I have a fear of, like they give you the laughing gas and stuff, and you won't remember it.
Right.
But that just makes me cringe at the thought of, like, them having complete control over me.
Really?
Because I'm loopy.
Huh.
at that point.
What do you mean by like complete control?
Like I'm helpless. I mean, I'm on drugs basically.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting this right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't want to not remember something I did
Okay.
as a person.
That makes sense.
That
Okay.
just creeps me out.
Have you ever been on laughing gas and not remembered
I
it?
have not.
Okay, because
I
don't
like I
want
said,
to.
that
I'm
knocked
not.
me completely out.
Okay, I'm not trying to like debunk your theory or anything, but I'm just saying from my experience in laughing gas, and I'm sure I'm not trying. Again, I'm not trying to like derail your thing, but when I was on laughing gas, I had crowns on my teeth when I was little, and not in correlation to my premature birth, by the way. This is just I don't know. I feel like I brushed well, but apparently not. I do now. Um, I had crowns on my teeth, and I had laughing gas, but I remember all of it. So I don't
Really?
know. Yeah, it was all there. It might not have been like super strong, like they would do in wisdom teeth, because obviously this time it's not like they're pulling a tooth out; they're just kind of or like cutting into you and stuff like that. Well, obviously I know they're not like sawing you up there in the back, but like they're just kind of like putting something on.
Amputation
Right.
of your tooth.
Right. It's pretty much what it is. Let's face it. But yeah. So
Of your perfectly okay tooth.
right. Yeah. So it might not have been like as strong as a dose as they would have given you, if that's even a thing. I really don't know. But so I'm not. So yeah, I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but in my experience, I remembered it. I mean, that was a long time ago. So like,
I'm not saying you're wrong. There's just this other truth or something. Is that
Right.
what you're saying?
well, I'm just saying in my experience, that wasn't the case.
Okay.
It's more of a just so you don't. Anyways, so you had the Well, I'll finish that sentence because that could go very bad if I didn't. I was just gonna say, just so you aren't worried about that. But if you want to be worried about that, then that's completely fine. I'm not against that.
I'm gonna be worried with what I want to be worried about, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop it.
Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? I'm not super tired like that one episode, but I'm just losing my thoughts. Because we're talking about so much.
We were talking. Well, yeah. There's so much
Yeah,
to
right.
talk
Okay, I remember.
There's
So
a whole world. So we started on pain because we played airsoft.
right.
And for those people who don't know what airsoft
Well,
is, airsoft is where we run around with plastic guns.
metal sometimes.
Okay, metal. Yes,
A
metal.
lot of
if
metal
it's good.
today. I'll tell you that much. Whew.
Uh,
Which is a good
plastic
thing.
and
I'm
metal,
not
or
sure.
a combination thereof, usually.
Yeah.
And you shoot little plastic BBs at each other, and make each other feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Right. One question, just because I've been wanting to ask this since the dawn of man. How did you tell them to knock you out when you got your wisdom teeth removed? Were you just like, oh yeah, by the
My
way,
dad was like, so there's 4 options here. One, you can go on drugs. The other one, you can go on drugs. The other one, you can go on drugs. And the other one, you go on drugs. One, you're awake, but don't remember it. Another one, you basically feel really good and will be aware, but can't feel anything. You probably will forget it.
yeah.
I can't remember all of the choices.
Right.
And then one of them was knock you completely out. And I chose that one.
Yeah, I would definitely have gone with that too. That's so interesting that I said you won't remember it. I don't doubt it at all. I'm just interested because I remember. That's so weird. I wonder maybe I'm not. Oh, that's so cool. Now I'm like dying to know. I'm dying to know what's going on. Anyways, that's really cool. Wow, that's piqued my interest. So yeah. Yeah, airsoft. Okay, jeez.
So that was that was your second time to play airsoft, right?
It was just pretty much like officially. You know what I mean?
Officially.
Like officially, like actually going out and playing instead of just like me and
With a
Noah in the
group.
backyard. Like someone gets shot once, we're like, oh that hurt. Let's go inside. Yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah, that was like pretty much my second time since I was like, I mean seriously, probably like anywhere from like 8 to 10, somewhere in there. So it had been a long time, and so I was pretty scared because I was like, is this gonna feel like? What's this gonna feel like? I had no idea because people are like, it feels like a pinch. I'm not pinched often at all, but to me it hurts a lot more than a pinch. Like for me, it's like you have to pinch
it's
really,
definitely
really
more than a
hard.
pinch.
Right. Like to me, a pinch is just kind of like you barely feel it. It's just kind of like, oh, okay.
It's more like a sting of a bee.
Right.
If
more
it's
like
on the bare skin, and it depends on the gun, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
so my first time to play airsoft was
Okay.
when I was 10,
Ah.
and what they had me do, the big boys made me go walk out into the field. We bought our little plastic guns from Walmart, and we went to this party, and we walked out into the field, and someone took an airsoft gun and shot us from 40 feet away before the game. So that
Just so you like, sorry, I was just taking a sip. Just so you knew like how it felt.
yeah, so
Okay,
you
yeah.
know how it felt before. So
I
you
almost
know-
asked James to do that today. Like I was like, I might need you to shoot me beforehand just so I can get it over with. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that was really good for me because it prepared me
Yeah, absolutely.
for what it was like.
Sorry.
Prepared me for the pain.
Done with my drink. That's cool. Yeah.
Oh, so you had a taste test.
Well, it was just, oh no, sorry, something almost fell over. It was just Werner's ginger ale, which is the best kind. If you didn't know, I'm not actually making that claim. I like it the best, but
So it
Yeah.
must be the best.
well, I dare say it's the best. Yeah. So airsoft
Yeah,
was
so-
fun. So it was a great deal of fun. I got shot because I was hiding in this bushes, and this guy coming around. We both saw each other, and so he was kind of like slowly. So basically, there was this long sort of dirt road kind of thing, and we saw each other, and I ran from him because I was like, I'm gonna get shot, and so I was like, I need like regroup and kind of turn around and see him, and then try to shoot him. And so we
Because
knew
you're
where
standing out in the middle of the open.
right, and so I ran a little bit just to get away from him, sort of, and then I jumped to my side, and then I was in sort of like the shrubs. And so I knew where he was, he knew where I was. So he's slowly walking up, and I hear him start shooting at me. I hear bullets flying past me, or not bullets, but pellets flying past me. Is pellets? Is that right?
Yeah, pellets, BBs.
Okay, whenever I think of a pellet, I always think of an owl pellet. Yeah, it's kind of
That's very different.
right. That's kind of unfortunate. Anyways,
Did you remember dissecting those or something?
absolutely, that's all I can think of.
Ah, my.
Did you not like it?
Oh, they're okay. I mean,
Yeah, I was never really
it's just a
grossed out
ball
by
of
it.
fur and bones.
Right. That's how I saw it. And other people were like, oh my gosh, it's so gross. And me and Michael and I, sorry, we're just kind of like, it's just kill me. It's just bones and fur.
Just burn fur.
Just burn fur. Anyways, so I just clipped again. I hate doing that. I'm watching the audio recording right now, and every time I see it clip, I'm like, you fool.
I can't hear anything.
Right, but I see it. Well, it's very mild sometimes, but sometimes it's like a solid thing. Anyways, so yeah, airsoft was fun. I had a load of fun doing it, and
Would you do it again?
I mean, here's the thing. Today there were some serious guns out there. There were a couple, Yours were pretty good.
It
but-
takes a while.
What takes a while?
6 years to be exact.
Oh,
To
right.
Build up an arsenal.
Right. So if I were playing with people and everyone else had like, they had guns, but they weren't like, Daniel had like serious, like really cool ones, but then everyone else had just sort of like normal ones or whatever. Sort of like entry level, I'd say. Maybe not entry level, but just, normal, just casual. I mean, Daniel had more serious ones. And so that's why I wasn't that worried, because all of them were sort of like just casual play. They weren't like,
Like
So-
sword and shield kind of. Like you can get somebody with that
right.
in that kind of setting.
Yeah, this one guy had a sword and a shield, and he was walking around, and he was trying to kill people like that. And so, if there were like 20 people like Daniel who I was playing against, I would be very reluctant to. But if it were a day like today again, I would feel completely fine. But if everyone had guns like Daniel had, then I would be, I'd be pretty scared.
And that's the funny thing. It's all perspective, really. Because you can spend as much as you want on this sport, if you call it a sport.
right,
You can spend $10,000 on a minigun
right,
with the
really,
thing that spins.
wow,
And you
okay,
have a big pressurized air tank that shoots all the BBs out at like 30 of them per second.
Right.
So
Wow.
just one Mississippi and 30 are flying at you.
Wow.
Or you can go buy a gun at Walmart for $12 and go play in your backyard. So there's a range all the way through there. And the more you spend, your friends kind of have to be in that same group. Or like, otherwise it's not any fun.
Yeah, because there's some guy who's like OP. Is
Yeah,
that what you're saying?
Like it's imbalanced. Like
Right.
one guy has all the firepower, so he's going to do better because you can't really get at him. Like today.
Yeah, which by the way, that reminded me. So basically the only people talking to the audience, sorry, the only people that you guys know, that were there were me.
From your channel, that is.
Right. Well, right, because there might be people who know. Anyways, just as general, the only people that's been on the channel is James, Daniel, and I. So, James and I were kind of scared because James only played like 2 years before, and so he didn't really remember what it was like, and I had played like nearly 10 years ago, so I definitely didn't remember what it was like, but all I knew was that it hurt, and so we were kind of scared. And so now this is where you come in, Daniel. We were out there in the woods, and we saw you, and we were both like, "Dang it, he's gonna destroy us!" And so we like hid, and we were like,
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, really. And we both were like hiding in the woods with our guns. And Jem's like,
was it when I was coming up the side trail?
Yes, that's what it was.
I was wondering why there's no one out there, and I never saw you, Josh, you or James.
Yeah, we were hiding. We were like so quiet. We were trying to go to the to like the stick fort type place. That's where we were heading. And so you were walking, and we were like, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if he sees me, we're dead. Like, we're actually dead. And so, oh my gosh, it was terrifying.
And that was before you got hit.
Right, that was before I got hit. So I was like, I was
Thinking
freaking
of
out.
needles the whole time.
Right, all I could think about was needles. And so we're sitting there. I was probably like 10 feet or so from James, and I was behind him. Well, he was closest to you, could be said. You know what I mean? So from my perspective, I was behind.
I think. No, you did.
Yeah, I had the one you gave me, and he had. I can't remember where he got his. Did you give him your? Was that yours? I don't remember. Anyways, and so I was like, dang. I was like, there's Daniel. I was like, all I remember, it was terrifying. Like, so you walked past us, and I was like, thank goodness. Like, I was so scared, and then I think. You kind of like made a loop. I can't remember. Basically, you walked past us twice. And the first time, when you were sort of out of earshot, could be said, James whispered to me, and he was like, when he goes back around on that bridge, we're going to light him up. And I was like, no. And I was like, dude, we're going to get destroyed. We're going to miss, and it's going to be a nightmare. And so, I mean, seriously, if we made, like, we were so close to you. If we made, like, any noise, you would have totally seen us. Oh my gosh!
I'm glad I strike fear into your hearts.
It
but
was
I'm kind of disappointed in my not sensing you.
No, it's okay. We were like dead men walking. Seriously, we were so quiet and so still. Well, we weren't walking, I suppose it could be said. And so yeah, that was. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you about that.
Dead men being dead on the ground. That is
right. That's exactly what was happening. And so, like, if any twig snapped, you would have heard it. We were that close. It was. Man, it was terrifying. And so when you walked back the other way, I thought about shooting you, but I'm like, we were far enough away where I was like, I don't think I could hit him. So, but it was close. And then when you passed the second time, we just ran. We ran back to our base, and we were like, I was like, it was so like I gave James a high five, and I like grabbed his hand, and I was like, we did it. I was like,
we live another day.
Right. It was like that. I was like, we survived the most tense moment. It was so tense.
So are you an adrenaline junkie now?
No, but I felt like it at the time. I was like, I need to live on this. I was like, this is sick. Like, seriously, at the time I was like, I feel alive. Which I did. I don't think I've ever felt more. Well, I have felt more alive in my life than that. Clearly, that would be depressing. But I felt like I was on it. Like I was super like this is. I felt like war heroes, even though all we did was hide. But it was just so cool. Like, cause in general, I suppose I don't know if I've told you this really, but like in general, with like athletic stuff, I'm not. I've never like assert myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
so like I'm good like athletically. Like if I tried,
Yeah,
I could
I've
be
seen you play
good.
soccer. You're good.
Right. Thank you. And so like if I try, I can. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm boasting. If I try, I can be okay. But I generally don't, just because I'm not into that really for some reason. I just don't like doing. I'm not saying I'm against like exercise or whatever, but I just don't like to play
Exercise
sports
is
really.
bad.
Right? Yeah.
Eat fat plus.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not saying people. Anyways, and so with all sorts of stuff like that, I usually lose with stuff like any type of game they were playing frisbee or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just not good because I never do it. So coming out of being like 100 feet away from you in airsoft, coming out of that alive was like a huge deal. You know what I mean? Like even though there was no like winning really because there wasn't a battle.
Right.
So I'm not saying I had the upper hand. You know what I mean? I'm not saying
It's like
I beat you or anything.
accomplished, like
Surviving. I
yeah,
accomplished
like an
not
Assassin's
losing.
Creed hiding moment, maybe.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But that's actually something I'm good at because I do that, which is sad.
The funny
But-
thing is,
Mhm.
I don't think I had a very my gun was really inaccurate that round, and it was a
Okay.
one-shot gun.
Okay. So
Not to take
no, absolutely. It's still you still would have gotten one of us. I'm sure. I mean, you had the upper
well, I'm
hand.
flattered.
No, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it was terrifying. So to come out of that, even though I didn't technically win or anything, but I just survived, like being quiet. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying I can't be quiet, but just like surviving anything that's
We
not
should
video
ask our
games.
tutor. Can Josh be quiet at all?
Oh gosh, you know how many times I get that when I'm around new people? Well, no, not anymore. Actually, I've made a conscious decision to not do that. But like with back in the day when I was young and just kind of I'm sorry when I was
Back in the
when
day
I was
when Josh was young.
when I was young when when I was I don't want to say a kid 'cause I'm still a kid, but you know what I mean, like a very young child. I was just like super crazy and just like But and so everyone was always like, "Oh my gosh, it was so annoying." People were always just like, "Is he like this at home?" and like, is and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, what did you say just a second ago that sparked this? What did you say? Oh yeah, like, can he be quiet? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it just annoyed me because not really. I haven't always really been a serious person, but I like to be serious, and I wish that were more of my persona, could be said, but and so I've strived for that more in the recent years, just because I just
Being the Mr. Darcy.
no, I don't like being Mr. Darcy per se, but sort of more on that side, I guess, more of just kind of like
On a scale from Bingley
Not-
to Darcy.
on a scale of Bingley Darcy, I am pretty much well let's
Center,
face it,
I'd
like
say.
Memorial Day. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because it depends really.
Like you
On
came
if-
to a party at my house and
Mhm.
you sat on the swing the whole time and didn't talk to anyone.
Right. I
Of
literally
course,
didn't
you
talk
didn't
to
know
anyone.
anyone, but
Right. And I think we've talked about this on the podcast. I can't remember. But just in case we haven't, I'm not trying to say what I did was good or anything. Like, I don't recommend if you don't know anyone, or if you're scared or whatever. But I was very, like, nervous. Like, you know what I mean? I was just kind of
it
like,
was so intimidating back then.
well, it wasn't, there were a lot of people there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was everybody, really. Not that they were doing anything wrong. Definitely not. They were all being nice and stuff. But I was just like totally out of my comfort zone, and I was like terrified. And I was like, I know none of these people, and so I just kind of went into, I don't know. I just was like, oh, I don't even want to try, and so that was bad. But all in good time. Now I know you and everyone else, and
We
I'm
have a podcast.
right. We have a podcast now. Who would have thought? You know what I mean? It's kind of like with me and. Sorry, I bring up Michael so much, and I always feel bad about it sometimes because I'm just like, people are always
it's
like,
like
oh,
Michael. You guys need to be more like Michael.
Right,
That
yeah.
is not what I hear.
well,
Okay.
all I'm saying is like, because Michael and I started off super rough. We hated each other. I'm sure I know I've told you this. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast or not, but we like hated each other. And so that's how our friendship started. If Michael's ever on the podcast, we'll tell the full story of that, obviously, but of how we met. But because we actually have like a proper like how we met story. With you and I, it's more like we just gradually
we were
became
there,
more
and then we
comfortable.
were here, and then we got thrown in the same class.
Right.
And then we were like, ha ha ha, you're drinking.
Vodka out of a
Yeah,
water bottle.
like Mr.
That was the
Bowman
joke, by the
mentioned
way.
vodka at one point, and then
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
you opened
anyway,
up to
it was
me,
weird.
and you were like, "Oh, you're drinking vodka out of that water bottle?" I was like, "Huh, no," or whatever. Well, I said, "Huh, yeah, maybe," or whatever some middle school acting me would say, even though that wasn't middle school. But I feel like I was a totally different person back then. Though I wasn't, but it feels like it. It feels like ages, though you say it's only days. Lord Huron quote. I thought was necessary. Sorry, clear my throat. Clearly. Gosh, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, no, I don't remember.
We
That's-
we can go to something else like music of the week or
Okay, right, yeah, sure. Okay. Oh gosh, do you have something prepared? Probably.
no.
Oh, I do have something.
You do? Okay, go ahead.
Finally! Oh my gosh. Okay, so this has a bit of a backstory, actually. Has a bit of a backstory. So, I've been watching recently on YouTube this guy. So I'd heard about him for a while. I sort of, his most popular video I watched, and it was good, but I was kind of like, whatever, I never want to find out people's channels by their most popular videos, because it is their most popular and stuff, but I just feel weird doing, I just feel like it's not authentic, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Like,
so,
your most popular video is Old Spice Line Pride.
right,
Is that a good representation of everything on your channel?
absolutely not.
Yeah, so-
Like, the way I want to find a channel is by finding just one of their normal videos and falling in love with it and watching loads more. You know what I mean? That's how I want to get into one. Not by watching their most popular one and be like, oh my gosh, his most popular one's really good. I'm going to name his name in a second here. But, like, his most popular video is, like, really good. But I saw it and I was like, well, I don't want to just be here from a friend. You know what I mean? It was James who told me. He was like, oh, yeah, this video's really good. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I'm not saying, like, that I don't take friends' recommendations. Like, I never do it just because a friend's doing it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, like...
I have to be unique. I can't take suggestions from
No, I'm just saying, like... I'm just saying, like, I don't know, because with YouTube... Well, for, like, sort of everyday YouTube sort of thing, you know what I mean? Instead of just, like, I'm not saying... I don't want to say it. Just for, like, kind of, like, cat video type things where people are just like, oh, yeah, I watch YouTube for, like, cat videos and stuff like that. There's those type of people. And then there's, which I'm not saying is bad. I'm just saying, there's, like, sort of people who watch, like, like, popular video. You know what I mean?
And
Just
then
sort of stuff.
there are those that subscribe to like comedians or
Right. And there's okay,
People like you.
here's what it is. There's two types of people. Well, there's a lot more than two, but there's, in general, there's subscribers, and then there's people who don't have a YouTube account. Browsers, there you go, yeah. In more ways than one, because you're using your well, no, not really. I was trying to tie that into, like, using your browser instead of...
it all connects.
It all connects, but it
Oh, wait.
actually doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Because I was acting like an idiot. There's people who have a YouTube account and who don't, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's people who, like, subscribe and like check their subscription list to see if a YouTuber has subscribed, and there's people who are like, I'm not saying this is, because I know you watch Dude Perfect, and I'm not saying that you're one of these people, but who just kind of like, oh, let's watch a Dude Perfect video. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, where it's just kind of like off the cuff, like, hey, let's watch a popular YouTube video. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying those are generally those are the types of people. And so I'm falling to, like, the sort of, oh, I know what it is. Who am I kidding? I'm trying to get into, like, the psychological. It's like there's a there's people who treat it as television, and there's people who treat it as sort of I don't know, like, not instant gratification really, but just sort of like I don't want to say Netflix, because you watch that as TV as well, but I don't know.
Like,
There's
I have nothing to do. I'm gonna browse this.
Right, I'm gonna find I'm gonna watch some Dude Perfect or some whatever
Cat videos.
else is cat videos, right? That type of stuff. And I'm not saying Dude Perfect is just off the cuff. People only watch them, because I think they're really they're really talented, obviously, and stuff like that.
They
So
work hard.
right. I'm just saying they're used a lot in that way, not in a bad way. But I'm just saying,
Right.
they're just super popular. That's what I'm trying to say, and people like to watch them even if they don't watch YouTube regularly. And so I'm one of those people who treat YouTube like TV, where like I have people who post every day or whatever, and I go to my subscription feed and I watch their daily video. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right.
And so
Or
where was I?
weekly or whatever it is.
Right, weekly. Yeah. What was I have no idea where I was getting with this. I'm trying to get into this analogy way too hard, and I totally forgot
You
what
were
I was.
going to mention who you were listening to recently.
Right, but why was I getting into the thing of people who watch it one way or another? I was talking to anyway. Who
In
cares?
this episode, Josh loses his mind.
Right.
Just not as dramatically.
Not as dramatically as last time. Jeez. Good heavens. What was I gonna? Okay. So the person who I've been watching, now you've been on the edge of your seats for like 5 minutes, is Olin Rogers. He's super good, super funny. I really like him. He's a really cool guy. Really inspirational as well. Like his story and stuff like that, how he's just kind of like, it's taken him a long time to get an audience on YouTube, sort of. And it's, well, to get like a big audience, you know what I mean? Like, he's nearly at 1 million subscribers now. And he's been on YouTube for like 10 years. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So like, you know what I mean?
Persistence.
Right. It's kind of been like a very slow and steady. And like his just thing about how he's been like super, he has had like very little money in the past, but he keeps on, but like he doesn't let that sort of like, stop him from trying and stuff like that. It was kind of, I'm not saying, if you're living off a dime, keep on, failing. I'm just saying, it's just only because he actually, he made it and persisted through the hard time. It's kind of like, oh, that's really cool. And so he's really good. He's really cool. I highly recommend anyone watching him. And so I watched his most famous video, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's funny, whatever. But like, so recently, in the past like month or two, I guess, maybe 2 months. No, not 2 months. Maybe like in the past month, I've found him again, and I was like, I'm gonna give this guy another shot because I just not because I didn't like his other video, but just because I wanted it to come in good time. And so I watched a video of his that it was like on the sidebar, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and it was so good. He's super funny. He's like, it hit me. He's like really talented. You know what I mean? Like his videos are really good. And so these now that we're finally back to the song of the week. These songs were in his 2 of his videos, and they're really good songs. I really like them. First one is called "Lost That Easy" by Cold War Kids. The other one is called "Outro" by M83. They're both really good songs. I highly recommend listening to them. They're like just really good. And "Outro" by M83 is in his I can't remember what it's called. It's something horse. Crazy Horse. It's called Crazy Horse. That's the video he was in. It's kind of a weird one, but it's really good. It's really weird, but it's for some reason I think it's really cool, and it's kind of emotional, but it's just kind of weird. And then the other one, "Lost That Easy," is in his 2013 apparel promo video or whatever, like advertisement type thing. And that's a really good video. I really like that one. It's really cool. He just does like cool, I don't know, he's just good with like, I don't know, he's just really good. He's one of those people who are like, they're not like, he's really the reason why I haven't been posting a lot recently. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a really good way, where like, he's made me want to make sort of, if you will, my own videos instead of videos that I know will go
Challenge
over
after
well.
Challenge after
Right,
challenge.
exactly. He made a video actually addressing, like, sort of, well, in the video he addressed, this was part of it, in the video he addressed that, this was even in 2015, and it's only gotten worse from there. He's like, the amount of challenge videos I've seen in the past 2 years is just, like, it's just, there's so much, and he's like, and if you want to go that way, then that's great. You're going to get all the sponsors, you're going to get absolutely a load of money. But he said, just keep in mind that that's not going to last very long because people are going to catch on that you're not with them. You know what I mean? You're not with your audience. You're just making challenge videos. But then there are people like Team Edge who they make challenge videos for their thing, and they're really good. But they're actually like good people. They're part of, like you mentioned, Matthias the other day, and anyways. So they're like part of that, and so they're good.
Funny thing is, I know about Matthias through a homeschool YouTuber who like got called out on his channel for something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Are you talking about Jordan Taylor by any chance?
I am.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know exactly. Cause that's funny because I knew about Blimey Cow, if you will.
Wait, so you watch Blimey Cow?
I don't watch it regularly, but I've watched a lot of it in the past. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that's really good as well. Good YouTubers. So I knew about them before Matthias actually, and then I watched Matthias, and then he did the diss track. Well, more just like give him a shout out, obviously more than anything. And then he shouted out Jordan Taylor, and I was like, oh, sweet. And so then I watched some of his videos again. Well, not again, but I went to his channel for the first time because I didn't know he had a channel. Anyways, on to your music, I suppose.
Okay, cool. This week I'm going to suggest, or what I really like is Wendell Kimbrough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that much about him, but I know he's not that popular.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I know. So you may not have heard of him. And my favorite album of his is Things That Can't Be Taught. It's a really cool album.
Okay.
He also has the Psalms We Sing Together. So it's Things That Can't Be Taught is his songs that describe, I don't know. You'll have to listen to it.
I've got it pulled up right now, actually.
It's okay. Well, he's got a really nice blend. He's mostly acoustic. I think he's all acoustic.
Okay.
But I really enjoy him.
Yeah.
And the songs are catchy, and I feel like they have more meaning than most songs these days.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
If you want to listen to a funny one, listen to Communication. And then if you want to listen to a good one, probably Home.
Okay. Well, I will remember that. Thanks.
All right.
Another
Those are my
band.
suggestions.
Well, never mind. I won't get into that. Okay.
Save it for next week, so you don't.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say it at all because they're kind of popular. There's Saint Motel. They're really good, but they're very sleazy. So, like, they have really good music, but then they're very sleazy, and so I don't know. They have really good songs that aren't sleazy as well, but then they also have really good songs that you'll listen to and you'll be like, wow, that's very sleazy. I don't approve of that. So, anyways, Saint Motel's good, but just know what I said and take caution to it. They're very sleazy. Anyways, so yeah. The next thing, we're running low on time here, but the next thing is the story, the Mallard and Shallard story. Whew.
Maybe we should do it at the beginning.
What, the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. We'll do that next time for sure. There you guys know. Now you know our schedule. It's actually on the schedule. I'm pretty sure it's like the first thing, but I get carried away with actually talking to Daniel because little known fact, Daniel and I live not a long way away, but near 45 minutes away from each other, so we don't actually see each other that often. So this is pretty much like us hanging out, like legitimately.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of talk about just loads of stuff instead of getting to the
It's like the time
work.
the podcast has been running would have been the time that it would have taken to get to your house. So,
right. That's pretty much true. Yeah.
Thank you, technology.
Right. Thank you, technology. That being said, I need to have Daniel over, guys. It should be said, I haven't had him over in like months. I've only had him over once in my life, and I've known him for a
And I'm
while
not even
now.
sure that you had me over. I think it was your older brother that had me over.
Yeah. Well, it was more like your older brother had your whole family over. My whole family. My older brother, I said that right the first time. My older brother had like your whole all your siblings over and you to play Civilization. So it was like it had nothing to do with me. It was like totally him.
That was before we were better friends.
Right. No, yeah. Don't worry about saying that. I agree with that. Yeah. We weren't, yeah. Now we're like moderately good friends. No, I'm just kidding.
Moderately.
Yeah,
moderately
we're
is a good, moderately good word.
Okay, yeah. I think it's moderately good as well. Yeah. So, the story. I'm always like, we need to do it at the beginning because right now I'm like tired and I don't feel like it. You know what? Should we just skip it? I don't want to skip it.
We're not skipping it.
Okay. Oh, okay. We're not skipping it, guys.
We're not skipping it.
Okay. So.
Because people like it.
Right.
And
people,
this time.
no. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah. Okay.
So I've got some feedback that said that it's kind of hard to follow the story.
Okay.
So quick recap.
Sorry about that. Whoever told Daniel.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's mostly my fault.
I think it's mostly. Well, we can. It's
It's definitely my fault. It's
not
definitely
your
my
fault.
fault. No, ask them. I'm sure you could talk to them very easily. I don't know who it is. I don't care, but I'm sure you could talk to them. Just ask, and they'll tell you. I don't know who it is,
Okay.
but they'll tell you it's my fault. They'll tell you. I'm sure, unless they feel bad and they're like, oh, I don't know, but they'll
Okay.
probably tell you.
Well,
They'll be
then.
straight up. Be straight up with Daniel, whoever it is, and tell him it's me. I'm just kidding. Anyways, it's gotten
Neither
weird.
of us have had a plan. Anyway, so
I don't know who I'm
this
talking
week,
to, but
do you want to do the intro, and then we'll go into last time?
this week on Mallards and the Aardvark. Last week on Mallards and the Aardvark, Mallard ran into a space gazelle, could be said. Well, should
They
be
jumped
said,
out of
'cause
the
that's exactly
window.
what it is.
And they were transported to the space gazelle.
The
Who
space
gave them
gazelle
3 wishes.
said, I'll give you, well, I'm not going to do the voice. She said, I'll give you 3 wishes. And so, I can't, what were Mallards? Do you remember?
Mallard's wish was that
Right, sorry, go ahead. Shallard would be there, and she did.
that was the last wish.
Oh, okay. Oh, gosh, what was it?
The first wish.
All that Mallards is that Mallard asked the gazelle to bring Shallard, and so Shallard appeared, and the gazelle said,
And then there
"Well,"
was one more wish left.
right, and Shallard said, I don't know why I'm smiling, like as if I'm like super excited, but and Shallard said, I want my mom back, and so she said, okay. And so that was borderline Mario. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like him, but it was like, okay. So Shallard has her mum back. She's running to a house, and that's where they are. Well, they're on land, they're on Earth, and Shallard is running to a house, and Mallard and Horatio are just sort of chilling out near the pond or whatever they're at. And that's where we start this episode. I'm not gonna do that every time.
So, after Shallard disappeared and went to find her mom at her house, Mallard and Horatio retired for the night.
Oh.
Until morning. The next morning.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The next morning, they got up and ate breakfast.
Man, this can of worms is real great, don't you think, Aardvark?
I can't stand the things.
All right.
I prefer 50,000 ants in one night.
You know, that's fair. You know, that's what you should have.
Which,
Well,
to be precise, or to be specific, there aren't that many ants around here. That's very
Right.
specific of me.
you're right. You're probably dying of starvation at this point.
Just
like,
dying.
I'm really sorry. Well, we'll get you home soon, no doubt. No, what was that? I totally went Australian. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, sorry, no doubt. We're gonna get you home soon. You want to go? Well, I don't want to be creepy, but I sort of want to see if Shallard's mum's around.
Oh, I mean, I
Don't
think
know how to
we're pretty good
transition to
friends.
this.
I think we can go call on them if you want.
Call on who?
On Charlotte. You know, like
Call?
call. Like you.
Like a phone?
Go. No. I must have different, what's the word?
Beckoned?
No, when you go, or like a
Oh.
duck call, you know?
Okay. Well, I'm not really trying to. I just want to go to her house and see if her mum's there. That's all I really want to do. I don't want to yell at her from across the way. You know what? You know what? Never mind this. Let's just go. Let's just go. So they go to Shallard's house, and this is what they find: Shallard's mum outside the door, crying. Oh my gosh! Are you all right? What happened to Shallard? What happened to you? Are you gonna do the Miss Shallard voice or Grandma Shallard or whatever it would be? I can.
Lots
but-
of pressure. Okay, let's
Go
see.
ahead. Yeah, let's see it.
I'll be another character. You do it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Wait, what's old British old lady? I'm trying to think. That isn't Shallard because that's what Shallard sounds like. Oh no. Oh my gosh, I just realized that's exactly what Shallard is. She sounds like an old British lady. It's stereotypical.
It
of
must
course.
be.
Wow, that makes it really awkward for me because I can't do an old lady voice at this point because that's pretty
Okay,
much
then
Shall
I'll
is.
try.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
I can't do it either. We picked the wrong character.
Dang it! This is well, I didn't realize until just now. Okay, what's the voice? Okay, you know, this is terrible. Oh my gosh.
I don't even want to try.
Just you know what?
Okay,
just,
I'm gonna
'cause
try.
I don't want to make it like, hey, I'm Miss Shallow. You know what I mean? Like I want to make it like. Anyways, okay, go ahead, try it.
Hello, I'm Grandma Shallot.
That's perfect.
Is that good?
What? Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. What happened here? What happened to you? What happened to Shallot? Is Shallot around?
Shallot's gone.
What happened? Tell us.
There was this loud laugh, and then she was
Oh my goodness.
she's just gone.
What do you mean she was just gone? She just appeared? Just disappear? Like what? Like what happened?
Well, I was baking my cookies.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, there are a few cookies left if you'd like some.
Okay, yeah.
And
Okay,
then
some after
all
this.
of a sudden, I heard this laugh, like
Yeah.
ha ha ha, but
Okay.
creepy.
Okay.
you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And
I think
then-
I know what you're talking about.
And then I turned around, and the door was open, and Shallot was gone. And all that
oh my
was left
goodness.
was what was left, Josh?
A note
A note. There was a note left.
with a C on it.
A C.
It must be
Wait.
Chinchilla. Oh, sorry.
No. It must. Maybe it was cat. Do you think it was cat?
Maybe it was cat. It could have been cat. We should have thought this through.
Oh wait, it's a CH. Never mind.
It's a chinchilla. No.
Yes,
No.
please find her.
I will. Come on, Aardvark. Well, let's get these cookies. Okay. Aardvark.
These are
Let's
really
go.
good. Thank you, man.
These are actually pretty good. Okay.
We'll find Shallot for you.
Yeah, we'll find her for you. I swear. Just stay safe. Do what you normally do. I suppose you don't want to restrict you, but stay safe. We'll be back. All right.
Lock
I
the
swear.
door.
We'll be back. Yeah, lock the door. Don't go out. You know, even if you run out of groceries, who cares really? You're fine. Just lock the door. Make as many cookies as you want. We'll be back. We'll eat them. You know, and we'll be right back. Well, I can't really promise that. We'll be back at some point with Shallot. I swear. Just.
Unless we die.
Yeah, so I don't really swear. I just sort of, this is all hypothetical. It's all hypothetical, really. But I hope, if all goes well, you know, if the villain doesn't have the upper hand, like he, you know, doesn't seem to in most film novels and whatever, we shall get Shallot. So, we'll bring it back. Not get as in like kill. You know, when you're like, oh, I need to get him. So let's or you know, sort of bag
How
him.
did your mind go there? Like,
Well, I just didn't want
what
it to
is your
seem like
history even?
I don't have a shaky history. I just sort of, yeah, whatever.
I'm just a monk.
I'm just a monk. What do you expect? All right,
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. That's the end of the episode. For now, because we're running out of time. Legitimately, I apologize for that, guys, but we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So that's all the episode we have today. Well, of Mountain's podcast, we can say a little bit. Well, not really. So, as it is, guys, that's the end of the podcast. Hope you liked it. This one was a bit of a more like serious conversation one, which doesn't really
Yeah.
happen that much. This is more of like a sort of actually talking about not things that matter
Pain
so much, but yeah,
And suffering
right,
and
sort of
walruses.
just real stuff, which is kind of weird. Well,
Fat
kind of good,
walruses.
not weird in a bad way. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate the like ratios are pretty good. The view ratios are really good.
They're
And
not ratios, Josh. They're people.
right. Well, I was gonna make a Horatio pun at the end of it,
Oh.
but you know, oh well, it's over now. It's
ruined it.
okay.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, guys, your individual views are amazing, and I very much appreciate it. And this podcast is nearly an hour long. We'll cut it off right at 59. I totally lost 59 because that sounded weird to me, but then that's how minutes and seconds work.
Of course, we have all those false starts at the beginning, so we won't know. It's probably more like a
Oh, right.
58, 50.
You're right. Yeah. Never mind, guys. It's
Because
not.
when we start, guys, Josh is like, "Hey there, welcome to the podcast," and then he's like, "Oh no. Hey there, welcome to the podcast."
It's true. I do that. Today was probably the worst it's ever been. Because I was like, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Jim's. And I was like, oh wait, that's not the intro for this. So, I feel like I've done a lot of talking this episode, so sorry about that, guys, and sorry about that, Daniel. But
Oh, it's fine.
I'm sure you won't hold it against me. Next week's gonna be the Daniel episode, so get ready for that. He's gonna do a
Oh,
lot of
no.
talking. Not really. Well, not. I'm gonna stop trying to justify everything I say because everyone knows I'm not trying to be mean. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys, or thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Goodbye. That was the VeggieTales goodbye. Did you like
Yeah,
it?
I totally got that. All right.